Me too. He's not here though. We're still on commercial break. Byron, you always embarrass me when you don't use the step. That I mean, you drive a Chevy at home. Hey, what do you drive at home?
I drive a Tahoe.
A Tahoe, okay.
But it doesn't have the
exactly. It's not a pickup truck.
I haven't, but man, I should get one. My dad actually got a Colorado, so he.
Those are sweet, aren't they?
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. He drives it around town, so yeah.
Dude, you've been doing this for a couple of years. I mean, what a year! 4 wins already for William Byron, the driver of the number 24. I mean, dude, you ever like just get up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, holy cow! I mean, you got to pinch yourself once in a while, huh?
Yeah, man. It's been fun this year. We started off the year strong. Third race at Vegas, had a lot of speed, won both stages, and won the race. And then it's just kind of carried into the summer here. So summer's usually tough for us, but always love coming to Pocono. It's one of our better tracks. So I feel like this is a good chance for us this week to rebound from last week and get some momentum going.
Well, I think that you rebounded pretty well. I mean, you got the pole. I mean, did you set out knowing that, hey, I'm going after the pole today?
I had a feeling after the first round we were really close to the top lap from Reddick. We were maybe half a tenth off, and I mean half a tenth. You can figure that out. So you can find a little bit out there, and I felt like we made some good adjustments going in the second round, and felt like our car off the truck was just really strong. We had a lot of speed, good balance. So just really happy with kind of what we brought here.
You've got to do so many cool things on the track and off the track. But one of the cool things, I mean, you've had literally veterans' names on your car, but something you have coming up is honor a cancer hero. And a cancer hero is going to be riding along with you in Kansas. What does it mean for you having somebody's family member name on your car? Does that ever give you a little bit, not that you need motivation or a kick in the butt, but does that help you a little bit knowing that more people are watching you?
It's special. I mean, we do it a couple times a year with the 600 miles of remembrance, and I think the cancer connection. My mom had cancer, so I think that it definitely means a lot more. And Kansas is an important race. It's in the playoffs, so hopefully we can have a great run for them and do them proud.
William, a question's been coming up for the last 2 weeks, and I'm just going to go ahead and ask you, as well as everybody else that I've had up here, and that is, next week starts Shark Week on Discovery Channel.
Oh, hell yeah. I love Shark Week.
Yeah, perfect, good. Then that leads into my question, and that is, have you ever, or would you ever, go diving with the sharks?
Oh.
If Discovery Channel said, William, we would love to have you on the show for the week, would you say, heck yeah?
Absolutely not. no desire. But I would love to see them from maybe an elevated.
He's like the TV.
Spot. Yeah, maybe be on a boat. I love being on the water. Actually, being on the water is really kind of where I get a lot of peace from kind of being on by the ocean. So I would say, I'd love to see it from afar.
We had a couple fan questions, and it was this man right here. No, you didn't have one. Oh, right here. What's your name?
Mark
And what's your question?
is that's not my hat.
Okay, that's okay. When I feel, what's your question, buddy?
Willie, I just want to say thank you. I'm a huge fan of you, and I'm so happy that you're your best season yet as a fan. That's amazing. And how did you feel about your car this weekend? Could you have done anything different? And with the strategy coming in Pocono, how it's like a track like none other, do you have a different strategy than any other track on the circuit?
Before you answer that, let me just ask you, what is it like for you when young men like that look up to you and they say nice things like that? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it means a lot just seeing our gear out there, and it's just it's cool to have that support. I was at the Kalahari Resorts last night with a sponsor dinner and seeing some fans. But yeah, I think so far it's been good. I mean, after practice we look at a lot of data. We look at throttle trace and kind of driver inputs. So it looked like I could maybe get in the corners a little bit deeper in some areas. And then we just worked on the balance of the car on overnight to get off the corner a little bit better as well. So I think going into today, we're as prepared as we can be, but we're just going to have to adapt to the changing conditions and the strategy as well. So hopefully we just have a smooth day and can have a really good run. Thank you.
Right down here. First of all, what's your name?
My name is Cameron.
Cameron, what's your question?
Whose idea was the big hat?
Good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. That was my idea. I saw it. I saw it on Thursday Night Football with Josh Allen, and I said, "Man, that'd be pretty cool." So it just took off from there, and we've been doing it for race wins. So we got to keep it going. It's a good tradition.
Well, speaking of keeping it going, do you have one for today's win?
We do, but we don't bring it out of the holler. We're a little bit superstitious. So.
All right. What's your name?
Bradley.
Bradley. How old are you, man?
7.
Who's your favorite driver?
Willie B.
All right. What's your question, buddy?
Have you ever been in a wreck?
Yeah, I've been in a few, and they've been publicized, so it's all over the internet. You can go look at my Kansas wreck in 2018. But yeah, I've been in some big ones, but always been okay, and been fortunate for that. I've had a few bang ups here and there, but nothing major.
Right down here. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Trey, and I've always wanted to be a driver. And how did you become a driver?
Good question.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, I watched the sport as a fan when I was 5-6 years old, so I watched every year, and then with the invention of iRacing, when that came about, a good way for me to learn how to drive and learn the skill online. And then I was just fortunate that when I got into a real car, it clicked when I was 13 and a half, 14 years old, and it just kind of took off.
Right down here. What's your name?
Josiah.
Josiah. What's your question?
First of all, I'm just a big fan of you, William. My brother goes to Liberty, and my mom went to Liberty.
That's awesome.
And my question was, what's your favorite scheme you've run, and what scheme would you like to run?
Yeah,
Good questions.
I've had some great schemes. I think as far as Liberty goes, I always love the 600 schemes, the patriotism behind it, and just celebrating the troops. But I think I've had some really good Exalta ones. The one at the few at Darlington, the Rainbow Scheme, and then the one this year was really cool.
Right down here. What's your name?
Brandon.
Brandon, and what's your question?
First, I would just like to say I followed you since the K&N series, and my question is, what was your favorite and your hardest win?
Good question.
I've had a few tough wins. I think not all of them have come in NASCAR, just some late model wins that have been tough, but I would say getting that first win in the Cup Series is always really tough. You have to commit really hard to make the aggressive moves, and I was just fortunate that in that win it all worked out.
William, they're telling me to wrap things up. You have something to do today, like a race. So please put your hands together right now for William Byron.
Good. How's everybody doing out there?
I just asked somebody, one of the fans said your boots look majestic.
That's funny.
I've never heard of your boots with the word majestic. Have you?
No,
Have you
but
heard
I like
that before?
it. No, I definitely haven't heard that yet, but definitely like it. That's cool.
So one question has nothing to do with racing at all, or at least racing NASCAR. But did I see a video or did I read something about you loving RC cars and trucks?
Yeah, I've got a decent passion for it.
Dude, you have a race shop for your RC stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely, it shocks people when they walk up and see it. I actually just built a track at my property too, so I got my own little flat clay oval track with lights.
So do you ever go and race with other people?
No interest. I just do it because it's another way to race, like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a random day when you just don't have something to do, or any night during the week. I have a couple of friends that come over and we just do it for fun. I don't travel anywhere. I just like to enjoy going out and trying to make the cars faster, and just same thing we do on the weekends, just do a little more of it.
BJ, I have some fan questions that came in, and I'll let you guys ask some questions. One of them came in and says, are you an adrenaline junkie? I mean, you hit speeds over 200 miles per hour on the racetrack. I mean, are you the kind of guy that's always wanting to go fast and want to do everything fast? And
yeah, I definitely would answer that with yes. I wouldn't have, there for a little while, I wouldn't have really known, but I drive part-time in the Cup Series now, and I used to run, like, in 2019, I ran 54 races between Xfinity and Cup, and now I only get to run about 20, 25. So I had to go buy some side-by-sides and four-wheelers and other things to scare myself with during the week because I don't get to race as much in the car. So it's definitely something that I need.
BJ, speaking of that, I've asked every other driver for the last 2 weeks this question, and I could not wait to ask you. And that is, Discovery Channel has Shark Week next week. I'm just curious, since you are an adrenaline junkie, would you or have you ever dove with the sharks?
I will not get in the ocean, like maybe ankle deep. Like
as big as you are,
yeah,
you're
no.
not afraid of nothing.
Yeah.
What are you the guy that like dips his toes in the ocean?
I walk down the beach to get my feet wet. That is literally the extent of me in ocean work. I don't. I just know that there's a very big area out there that we haven't searched, and I think there's much larger and scarier animals than sharks. So I have no interest in getting in it.
BJ McLeod, here's what I'm going to ask you. Every man has his price. Grant Infinger said the other day, he goes, I wouldn't do it for money, but I would do it for a full season paid for 3 times. So he goes, that would be, a full ride for 3 years. I would do it. So if someone came to you and said, I will fund your racing career and your team, for how many years would it take for you to jump in that cage with a great white?
So I get in the cage as long if they had a cage and it was like tied up right and stuff. I'd get in there for one race.
Wait,
I just wanted to be safe.
If it's tied
I just
up
want
right.
one real race in a top car.
Have you seen some of the videos of the sharks getting in the cage?
I ain't scared of the little ones. I just have no interest in doing it for fun. But if we're gonna pay for a better race car, I'm in. Sign me up.
What kind of music do you listen to?
It's basically anything but country music. That's the way to put it out there. I respect all artists and love them all and love the entertainment that they put out there, but I just am anything but country music.
So have you ever played in a band, or do you play guitar or bass, or do you sing?
I do not have that kind of talent. Not even close.
So it's okay. You might not have talent, but everybody sings karaoke. So what is your go-to karaoke song?
I don't ever want to remember what I sound like singing, so I've never done it. That is something you want to unsee some stuff. I want to never have heard that.
BJ, this is another great fan question. Darren wrote in and he says, have you ever spotted for one of your drivers or another driver throughout your career?
Oh yeah, I actually was a spotter in 2006 for the Truck Series. I did it all the way up to 10, and then when we started our own teams, I spotted for my Superlates for 4 or 5 years, and then I spotted for Matt Mills and Xfinity driving my car, and Benny Miller, and different people, so I've done that quite a bit.
So I heard it's pretty nerve-wracking going from being a driver to spotting for another driver. Is that true?
Well, it's actually the tracks that makes it the most. So I think it's easy being a driver to another driver because drivers know what drivers want to hear. So that part is pretty easy for me. But, one of my first tracks I spotted at was here at Pocono. And the line of sight is disastrous from the spotter's tower. I don't even, literally what we'll do during the pace laps today, my spotter will come on the radio going down the front stretch and it'll be like, right here, you're on your own. That's what he'll say. And it's also the place that we're 6 wide on the restarts that I'm trying to figure out what lane I should be in and how many cars, because the mirrors we have, you can only see 1.5 lanes to the left and 1 lane to the right of your car behind you, and next to you, you can only see 1 car. You can't see a car on the other side of that car. So it's kind of entertaining, this place, dealing with it.
Stacy wrote in, and this is another one I've never asked you. If you could go back to any era of racing, what era would you go back and race, and who would you love to race against?
It's easy. Anytime that I would say before Petty retired, while Dale Sr. was racing with him, that group, Tim Richmond, just those guys and other people, the awesome people that were around. Bill Elliott's one of them. Just I can't think of them all right now, but to get to just run one race with those guys, I remember it was still special for me. My first Cup race was in New Hampshire in 2015, so I got to race Junior and Gordon and Stewart, and I knew that I think one of them was retiring that year, but regardless, it was cool just getting to share the track with them at least once. But going back to my favorite time, it would have had to have been against Senior and Petty and Elliott and those guys. Would have been awesome.
Have you ever been starstruck? You get to meet so many cool people, but people look at you. I mean, look at all these people here to see you. Do you ever see somebody and say, "Holy Toledo, that's..."
I have a funny story for that one. I was in the garage in Vegas, and I thought I seen Jonathan Davis walk by, the lead singer for Korn, and I was like, holy crap, I'm running over there and getting a picture. So I ran up to him and I'm like, dude, will you take a selfie with me? And he's like, yeah, man, I got you. So I don't even think he knew I was a driver, but it was definitely a starstruck moment for sure.
This is another great question. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given when it comes to racing?
Well, I think, the best piece of advice I've ever gotten when it comes to just driving is race racetracks and not the other cars, and just take care of yourself, because it's hard to go out here and race against guys that win, and I'm sitting here fighting to try and get 30th, and move up from there each year, and it's really difficult. So you have to remember to race the racetrack, and don't get too wrapped up in these guys beat you every week, because the week you are good enough to run with them, you'll never beat them if you're already mentally beat. So it's difficult to do that, but it's great advice to make sure it's car numbers and it's racetrack, it's not people. So you just focus on that and try to move forward and do the best you can.
And the last one from social media, they want to know, what is your favorite vintage Chevrolet?
My dad has a Chevelle, so probably going to go with the Chevelle, but I'm kind of torn between 69 Camaro or 69 Chevelle SS.
I'm just curious, and we're going to get to
I
your
like
question
57
here.
Chevy too, man. I can't split it into one.
I know, but
it's not possible.
when you said your dad has the Chevelle, I'm just curious. He's a grown man now, right? Have you ever taken that Chevelle with your dad not knowing?
So it's a funny story. No, absolutely not. My dad bought this car brand new in '67, and he never sold it. And he let it go over the years. It was in pretty bad shape, and I called him about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and I said, I'm sending somebody to pick up the Chevelle. I'm going to rebuild it for you. And I took it up to North Carolina, and we've turned it into a 2,500 horsepower Pro Street car, which people thought I was crazy because it was an original matching numbers car. It was probably worth $250,000 when we cut it up. But he always wanted a badass Pro Street car, and that's what I wanted to turn that car into, so I can keep it forever. So we're actually in the process of finishing it up now. So no, I haven't drove it yet. Am I going to? Absolutely.
And right down here, what's your name?
My name's Debbie.
Debbie, and what is your question?
Okay, thanks for coming out today, and we really enjoy watching you. And I have a question about what's the most memorable autograph thing that you've done?
Well, first off, thank you, and thank all of you for coming out here and supporting our series and our sport, because we're nothing without our fans. We greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. As far as single autograph stuff, it's got to be things people ask you to sign, and I don't want to bring it up here, but it's been entertaining.
You have a great story, but she has a great story.
Last year, on your way to Michigan, you stopped in Cleveland, downtown, and you had a bumper to get signed, and whose was it?
I don't know exactly who it was, but I absolutely remember.
You thought it was Matt Tiff's, and it was yours, and that was my grandson and daughter.
I was going to say, I absolutely remember doing it. I was sitting at the Blaster autograph booth. I remember that like it was yesterday, but I don't remember whose bumper it was. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Right down here in front. What's your name?
My name's Ryan.
Ryan, and what's your question?
Okay, I'm a corn fan myself. I'm curious, what's the best band you've ever seen live, or who do you want to see that you haven't?
Ooh,
I couldn't hear it. Say it again.
He wants to know, what band have you seen that is the best, or what band would you like to see, correct?
So I've actually only been to one concert in my life. I spent a lot of my life, seriously.
You will go watch people fight every weekend, but you haven't been to a concert?
Yeah, so I go there because...
you gotta hang out with some better friends.
Well, it's in the middle of the Vegas week that I'm in Vegas, and I get to go see the UFC fights. But concerts, I haven't been able to go to a lot of them, but the one I went to was absolutely killer, and it was Metallica. So it was awesome, and it's gonna be hard to beat that.
So I'm just curious, what is your favorite Metallica song?
Give Me Fuel, Give Me Fire.
Okay, good. Right down here, what's your name?
My name is Kevin. I don't know if I'm asking a question, but how has the switch to Chevy impacted the team?
It's been really good for us. We actually practiced 16th yesterday, and that's unreal for us at a non-speedway track. So I still messed up the qualifying lap. Had a shift point go wrong going into 2 and turned the car sideways because I had it too low on entry. But it should have been a top 20 qualifying effort, and that would have been a first time ever for that. So that is because we switched to Chevy and we got ECR power under the hood, and everybody helping us has been unbelievable. So it's been a really, really good change for the team.
Right down here, what's your name?
Thank you.
My name is Cameron, and I just want to know, what's it like having Anthony Alfredo behind the wheel in the Xfinity Series?
A lot of fun.
Hang on a second. I'm going to answer this question for you. Well, he probably cooks for you all the time. That guy's always cooking.
No, I am not eating his food. I have no interest in that. He may be good at it, but I'm not trying it. No, absolutely. He's an awesome driver. Great people, great family. just really good core values and one hell of a race car driver. So I've enjoyed it a lot, and it's made Jessica and I enjoy the one car team. It's been a lot of fun working with him. We've had a rough go of it and wrecked 8 or 10, I think 8 races out of the last 9, but it's nothing of his doing, just been wrong place, right time. So we got it turned around yesterday, got a 13th, the best finish of the year, and look to build off of that.
Right down here, what's your name?
Dylan Wissenbach.
And Dylan, what's your question?
I remember the time I was watching Cars 3 and I see Chase Elliott voicing Chase Racelot for Cars 3. What made him voice of Chase Racelot in Cars 3?
I would have no clue. Sorry, buddy.
We had one more question. Anybody? Right down here. Rose, what's your question?
What do you do on your off time?
What do you do on your off time?
So
yeah, he listens to his wife boss him around.
That's all the time. That's not my off time. No, anything I can do to be around something with an engine and tires. Like I drive a John Deere tractor a lot during the week. We got a little bit of land, and I like to literally, if I just want to chill, I'll jump on that thing and go mow for a while or go move dirt from one spot to the other. Like really no purpose, just enjoy it. So if I'm awake, I'm either hanging out with my wife and my dogs, or I'm on something with an engine.
Well, they're telling me to wrap things up. Please put your hands together right now for PJ McLeod.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate the support. Enjoy the race today. It's going to be a good one.